Some say the Titanic disaster of 1912 was predicted in a novella published in 1898. Indeed, there are some very striking similarities. American writer Morgan Robertson was experienced in working on ships and wrote a fictional story based on his experience and observations. In his novella, Futility, a large, luxurious ocean liner called the Titan was thought to be unsinkable, but sinks in the North Atlantic Ocean after hitting an iceberg, just like the Titanic. Also, just like the Titanic, the sinking of the Titan occurred in April, was almost the same size, and suffered from an insufficient number of lifeboats. The novella was published 14 years before the horrific event, and after the tragedy, its title was changed to The Wreck of the Titan. Hartland and Wolff, the company that built the Titanic, was in competition against bigger, wealthier companies. And, while cruising at top speed was common at the time, it is speculated that the Titanic may have ignored certain dangers and precautions in order to arrive on time. In 1910, a glacier of snow in West Greenland reached the ocean, and a huge portion of ice broke free from it. Its chances of surviving were small, but it beat the odds. It got carried by the currents and was in the very small percentage of icebergs that would become a danger. Nature and human error worked together to guarantee it would meet the Titanic. Some of the Titanic survivors recalled seeing a ship light in the near distance when they were the most desperate and in need. The ship was close enough to see them and also close enough to help. But it didn't. It seemed to stay in place for a moment, as if watching, and then disappeared, leaving the helpless on their own. During their darkest hour, some of the survivors managed to stay afloat by standing on top of a turned-over lifeboat. It was overcrowded and difficult, but they still managed to pull another person to safety. Though it was a horrific tragedy, we still find it inspiring that people still managed to pull together and survive despite their nightmare of a situation. But what about you? What do you think?